Welcome to the HohO Show, rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airways and strap in as we defend the Constitution. Because freedom matters.
We are broadcasting live from the Cottage Studio. So welcome to the HohO Show, and as always, I am your host, HoHo, and if you guys like to follow along with the madness, you can head on over to thehohoshow.com. Just click on that newsfeed tab at the upper right-hand portion of the screen, and there you'll see my magazine on Flipboard, my hub for news and stuff. So yeah, welcome everybody, welcome Spreaker, welcome Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Periscope, and Facebook, and welcome Dave over there in YouTube land. How you doing, sir? Hope everything's going good. Hope you guys had a Happy New Year and all that good kind of stuff. And I am joined in studio by none other than Ray. How you doing, sir?
Good. Happy New Year.
Oh, crap. Hold on. Say that again.
Try to take two.
Take
Good.
two.
Happy New Year.
That's awesome. it helps whenever I unmute the mic.
At least you're consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. There's been, you know, I've been on hiatus, you know, for a while. I was out of the country, not feeling good last weekend. So this weekend, and that's the thing, like, there's not a lot of stuff from like way back yonder to talk about, but there's been a lot of stuff going on this past week and a half, hasn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, we got some, of course, we got a little bit to touch base on with impeachment, you know, not really the whole thing, but just a few little aspects of it. We're going to touch base on Baghdad. We're going to touch base on Soleimani. We're going to touch base on some Google stuff. And, of course, what's also going on in Virginia. But first, ladies and gentlemen, this is what democracy looks like. Yeah, I can't stand any more of that. You know, it's... I'm sure you know, and, you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys out there know that we don't have a democracy.
How dare you?
I know, but we don't have a democracy. You know, see, whenever we went to school, we said this thing called the Pledge of Allegiance, you know, and clearly within it, it says, and to the republic for which it stands. Republic, not democracy.
Right.
You know, republic. And there's a very good reason for that, you know, of why we don't have a democracy. Or say our founding fathers didn't want a democracy. It didn't, you know, they knew that democracies in the end, they end bad. They end terrible. They end, I got chat. Hold on. Dave, oh yeah. Dave over there in Spreaker land too. You are all over the place. Yes. But they knew that, you know, in the end, it ends badly. It ends violently. It's not a good thing. You know, it's just, it doesn't end good. And it's because democracy at its core is based on mob rule. Am I right?
Right.
You know, it's based off of what the 51% wants. That's it. It's not based off of truly freedom. It's not based off of anything other than what the 51% wants. It's based off of mob rule. You know, I've got these analogies that I've said a million times, and I'm going to say them again because, you know, it bears repeating. You know, democracy is two pedophiles and a parent discussing age of consent. You know, democracy is two wolves and a sheep discussing what's for dinner. Great for the wolves, kind of crappy for the sheep. That's what democracy looks like. We don't want a democracy. Instead, we have a republic, you know, and more specifically, we have a constitutional republic. Why is that important?
So the little guy don't get screwed over.
Exactly. You see, simply put, here is why we have a democracy. Now, for those of you that are over in Spreaker land, I'm just going to go ahead and apologize right now because y'all can't see this, but what I'm pulling up here is the 2016 election map based off of, you know, the county level election map for 2016. You can read right there. That's what it says. Okay. That is why you don't want a democracy. because this whole entire map is red. This whole entire map is Republican voters all across the map, okay? The little bitty speckles of blue here, there, and everywhere, these are the major, populations.
Cities, yeah.
Exactly what he said. Major metropolitan cities, major areas. And you see, whenever you base your entire thing off of what the majority wants, that's what you get, is just a very limited. Okay, let's put it this way. The presidency, the federal government, it is big picture, okay? That's what their focus is supposed to be, big picture. It's not supposed to be focused on state issues. It's not supposed to be focused on, local issues and county issues. It's supposed to be focused on big picture. And again, whenever you look at that map, what do you see? A big picture of red. That's how President Trump got elected. Am I right?
You're correct.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add into that?
No, I think you pretty well hit it on point.
Yeah.
Good job.
Let me, thank you. I had to, yeah, so I'm supposed to say that whole hitting on point thing. I mean, what the hell? I don't do that a lot. So, all right, I'm looking at my notes. I'm looking at my note card. I did a note card for this one, because it's like, I know my brain, and since there was like so much different points I wanted to touch base on, I didn't want to lose track of that. So yeah, Constitution, Republic, government, divided and focus, state. Okay, yeah, I think I got everything on that. So, yeah, so that's why you don't want a democracy, because it's mob rule. It's all about the 51%. It's not about right and wrong. It's about mob control, And think about it too. This is one of them things that is also a difference between, republic versus, democracy, because you see, we have this thing called the freedom of speech. What type of language does the First Amendment, freedom of speech, what type of language does it specifically want to protect? Do you know? It's a question.
Speech.
Huh?
Could you restate that?
What type of speech does the First Amendment, really want to protect against? Offensive speech, right?
Right.
What other type of speech needs to be protected? Think about it. If everybody is in favor of this type of speech, it doesn't need to be protected, right?
Right.
So offensive speech, that's exactly what the First Amendment is meant to protect. Things that get people, a little panty bunched. Panty bunched. Yeah.
Panty bunched. Huh?
Panty bunched. It's a good word.
Is that your word for tonight?
That's going to be my, no. Well, yeah, maybe. That could be a very good word for tonight. Panty bunched. But yeah, that's, because now what we have is a PC culture that is trying to limit everything and take away people's basic freedoms.
Right.
That's what we got going on. It's the rule of the PC police. It's not the rule of the Constitution. It's not the rule of right and wrong. It's not the rule of, I don't care if you're offended because it still needs to be said. I don't care about any of that. This is the whole rule of the thought police, and that's what we got. That's what we got. So guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when we get back, we got some more stuff to talk about. We're going to be talking about impeachment next. Nancy Pelosi, she is my favorite person. So just a couple seconds, guys. We'll be right back. This is the HohO Show.
You are correct. You are correct.
down on your throne just to find out that you are dangerously low on shift tickets, making it to where you have to make a mad dash to the store just to pick yourself up some? If this has ever happened to you, pick up the #1 most rated toilet paper found in Uranus and use what the professionals use. Angel Soft. See, I'm just not a fan of some toilet paper. Some of them is like putting a pillow between your nice rosy. Others, like John Wayne toilet paper, it's like using sandpaper. But do what the professionals use. Use the type of toilet paper that is the Goldilocks of brands, Angel Soft. Available wherever toilet paper is sold.
Wow.
I told you you'd love it. Not a sponsor, by the way. Not a sponsor.
Okay. Show's going to crap already.
I know, right? Oh, that was hilarious. Okay. Oh, that was awesome. Oh, he said the commercial sounds low. Crap. Dang it. It sounded low, huh? Well, I said crap. That was hilarious. Mm-hmm. Maybe that was a little low. Did you hear it, Dave? I can play it again. That was hilarious. I turned it up on the mixer, so next time I'll play it. I'll play it the next whenever we come back from the next small music break after the next segment. I'll play it again. It'll be amazing. Yeah, he said play it next break. He concurs with that. So, as I said before I went on the break, we're going to now touch base on this whole impeachment scandal. So, I'm just kind of curious. What do you feel about this whole, impeachment thing? Yeah.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
It's a farce. Everybody knows it. It's political stunt by the left. I mean, there's nothing to it. It's just crap.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pelosi, she had mentioned that she didn't want to do this thing, as a complete political hack job to just remove the sitting president because of fully political reasons. But that's exactly what she ended up doing. Removing the president, or at least drawing up the articles of impeachment based off of purely politically motivated things.
Right.
Because it was, let's see, only Democrats voted for it. Well, there might have been some independents in there, but 0 Republicans voted in favor. In fact, on one of the articles of impeachment, there were 3 Democrats that voted against,
Excuse me.
1 independent, and 1 Democrat that voted present. And on the other one, there was like 4 Democrats that voted against, I think another independent that voted against, and of course another Democrat that voted present. Her reason behind voting present was because she wanted to impeach the president, but the articles of impeachment were very, very lacking, and she couldn't support the reasonings they had come up with. They fabricated, okay? And that was more or less, in short, what she was talking about with that. That's why she was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And now, here she is, holding up the articles of impeachment because she is saying, now this is great, okay? This was a completely partisan thing. And she is accusing the Senate of being partisan and how she suspects they're going to conduct themselves in the trial phase of impeachment. I mean, come on. Really?
No, she thinks she's going to dictate to the Senate how things are going to go. And like Mitch McConnell was basically telling her, hey, you're not part of the Senate. We do things our way. You do things your way. She has no say in what the Senate does. And that goes back to, the Constitution as far as the powers of each branch of Congress. That's why that's the way it is. It's just like the executive branch has powers, legislative has powers, judicial has powers, and within the legislative, each house has their own set of powers and rules and regulations, so that one branch or one part of the branch doesn't have total control over it. And she wants that total control. She wants things done her way. That ain't the way it works. Sorry, Nancy, ain't going to happen.
Exactly. And that's the thing too. And Dave's comment on her, he said, it's Bravo Sierra, but it's also great. It destroys the Democrats. It helps the Republicans and practically wins the election for Trump. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And that's basically what she's doing. She's destroying the Democrats by pointing out just how absurdly against and politically motivated everything that they do is.
I see a lot of independents that if they hadn't voted last time for Trump, there's going to be a crap ton more going to be voting for him this time. And I could also even probably say a lot of the, what I call real Democrats, the real blue collar, not the communist liberals, but the real ones from old school Democrat Party.
Yeah.
There's going to be a crap ton more of them probably end up voting for Trump because they're sick and tired of the way the Democratic Party, the route they're going.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing, and she is, one of the things that she's doing is she's demanding a level of professionalism out of the Senate that she was unwilling to provide. She flat refused to provide in the House of Representatives. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about. You see, she is demanding of the, Senate Republicans to, do subpoenas on people that she was unwilling to do because there was people that, that Nancy Pelosi was like, I want you to come and I want you to, testify in this hearing. And they were like, the executive branch told them, no, don't do that. And these guys are basically going out and saying, look, I've got two equal branches telling me to do two different things. If they want me in there to testify, then what they need to do is they need to go to the Supreme Court, petition to them to tell them what they want me to do. Because I have two co-equal branches. Let me say that again. Co-equal branches telling me to do two different things. That's why that whole third branch is in there. They're the tiebreaker. She didn't utilize that. She refused to utilize that. They didn't want to wait for that because, again, they knew what the outcome was going to be going into it. That's why they rushed this thing through the way that they did.
Right.
And
they're already talking about trying to draft more impeachment articles on some other issue.
Right.
And that's all they're going to be doing for the next year is
probably longer than that, but yeah,
pulling more stuff up, whatever they can do. And, it's think of all the millions of dollars that are being wasted on this.
But it's not only that, they first brought these things up 2.5 years ago. What did President Trump, besides put his hand on the Bible and take his oath of office, his oath of affirmation, besides that, what did he do? Nothing. He didn't do anything 2.5 years ago. They decided from the onslaught of this, they were going to impeach him. The only thing that they've been doing ever since was trying to figure out ways they can do it and bring up the articles of impeachment. So you got the two articles of impeachment that they brought up was obstruction of Congress. That's not a criminal offense. That is a purely political reasoning. And of which case, what are you claiming as your obstructing of Congress? Are you really claiming that on, I don't want certain people to testify due to executive privilege? Is that your reasoning? If they're doing that, then why aren't they bringing up articles of impeachment on him vetoing a bill?
Right.
That's the same thing. That's obstructing Congress, is it not?
In their eyes, it probably would be. Yeah.
Exactly. But that's what a co-equal branch does. They are part of the check and balance of the whole thing. Again, if the House of Representatives were truly serious on this, and they would have brought up something real, and it would have been a bipartisan effort, and maybe they would have gotten it done if President Trump had actually done something worth impeaching him for.
Right.
Purely political. And I'm going to bring up something too that is, and I've had this debate with other people, but like the articles of impeachment that were brought up against, Clinton. Okay. Quite honestly, I can't say as if I agreed with that. Because that, again, there was no... When your reasoning by which you want to eliminate a president is solely based on the hearing his conduct within the impeachment process, then I would have to be honest by saying I think that entire impeachment is a farce. That's what happened during Clinton's impeachment hearings, because the only thing that they actually voted on as far as him being impeached against was his conduct within the impeachment hearings. That's basically it, because his whole obstruction of justice wasn't the obstruction of justice in the in like the criminal hearings with, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. It was him saying it to Congress. They didn't care that he said it to an outside person and he actually did perjure himself in that. They didn't care about that. The legality of it, which was, that was him doing something he shouldn't do, and that was perjury, that was, but that's not what he was impeached over. He was impeached over him lying to Congress. And it's like, dude, if you're holding
before the horse.
Yeah, they put the cart before the horse. It wasn't about what he did. It wasn't about his conduct. It was about his conduct within the hearing, and of which case, if that's the only thing he's actually being impeached over, then I can totally understand and totally support the Senate not removing him from office, saying, look, this is why they're impeaching him, then I can't support that.
Right.
And I totally agree with that. I wasn't a huge fan of Clinton. Not a huge fan of him at all. I did like how he did some things. I liked how he did things, because I liked the idea that he talked to the American people whenever he had an issue that he wanted, help figuring out what to do. He talked to the American people. What do you guys want me to do? How can I best represent you? He didn't always follow through with what the people wanted, but he at least came to us and said, what do you want me to do? I feel your pain. It's just, that was Clinton. I liked how he did that. I liked that he did that. I thought that was pretty neat. Am I a Democrat? No. Do I support Hillary? Hell no. But I at least liked how, former President Clinton conducted himself in the Oval Office. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm done.
Wow. One thing that gets me between the two different impeachment proceedings is what a lot of people miss is the sacredness of what an impeachment is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be the last straw. It's supposed to not be a political farce or whatever you want to call it. You don't use it as a tool to get your way. Even if you got some president that's a total, whatever that you don't like, and maybe you have good reasons for it, it's still not to be used as a tool to get rid of somebody just because they're not competent as far as what you'd like them to do.
Exactly. And welcome, Matt, over there in Facebook land. He said, hello, gentlemen. Good to see you on.
But
wait, do that again. There you go.
But there's a sacredness to, because it's part of the Constitution. We cheapen the Constitution when we use things like impeachment for our own purposes.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I actually heard this. This is not original thought. I cannot claim this, but I've even heard the argument of, well, how about the people that are in the Senate that are running for president? Can they vote to remove the president? Whenever you look at the articles of impeachment and what they're bringing up, they're claiming that he did what he did with this whole Ukrainian phone call. I can't speak. They're saying that he did that in order to damage a current Democratic candidate, Joe Biden. That's what his whole purpose in doing that was. He made a politically motivated move, and that's why they're like, we need to remove him from office. We're not going to stand for this. Okay, well, how about the people? How about Booker? How about some of the other people? Booger. How about some of the other people in there? Wouldn't this be a politically motivated move if they were to vote to remove the president because he is they're running for president? Wouldn't that be the same thing? Wouldn't that be equally as bad as what they are accusing the president of doing?
Right.
You know, I mean, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, I got a big one in here. Let's see. Trump should be tweeting every day how much money. Oh yeah, and Dave, I completely agree. I haven't even read this whole thing. I can absolutely say I completely agree with you. Trump should be tweeting every day how much money and how many man hours have been spent spent and wasted to accomplish zero. That's the epitome of insufficient and ineffective. We should be drilling that point home. And what else do the Dems waste every day? How much of our tax money? How much of the world's time? Oh, you are absolutely correct, Dave. You are absolutely correct on that. You know,
last time I checked, it's been a couple of weeks. It's in excess of $40 million of your tax dollars. $40 million. What can we do for $40 million? That would be beneficial.
That's the thing. Like, outside of impeachment, what have they done? I mean, not what they passed a bill, to keep the government running, so it wouldn't shut down. Outside of that, honestly, what have they done? Nothing. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's really all I got on that. Do you got anything else to add on that one?
Just that need to get out and vote this election. I mean, the presidency is key to make sure Trump is elected, but something just as equally important is making sure Nancy Pelosi is not the speaker after this coming election.
Yeah. I mean, it goes deeper than that too. And being somebody who has been involved in and ran in local government, that is something too that we need to pay more attention on as citizens. Yes. Yeah.
Told you not to lick the cat.
Yeah, licking the cat's back, but never mind.
Hairball.
Oh, that's good stuff.
The cat or the drink?
I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to answer that at all. But I had a thought. I really did, but it's gone now. It got hacked away. I must have. I almost said something right there. But yeah, it's just. But you being, been in local government, yes, the presidential elections, yes, the House and the Senate and all that is fine and dandy. We have to pay attention to that. We got to get the country going in the right direction on the big scale. We got to be doing that, obviously, but it goes deeper than that because we need to be paying better attention to what's going on in our state government, in our local government. Exactly. We need that, because changing the country, getting the country on the right path, it starts locally. It doesn't start federally. It starts more locally. We definitely need to be paying more attention to that. We are going to take a quick break, and when we return, well, of course, we'll be playing that, song again because, yeah, just a couple minutes, guys. We'll be right back. All right, let's try this again. Have you ever sat down on your throne just to find out that you are dangerously low on shift tickets, making it to where you have to make a mad dash to the store just to pick yourself up some? If this has ever happened to you, pick up the #1 most rated toilet paper found in Uranus and use what the professionals use. Angel Soft. See, I'm just not a fan of some toilet paper. Some of them is like putting a pillow between your nice rosy. Others, like John Wayne toilet paper, it's like using sandpaper. But do what the professionals use. Use the type of toilet paper that is the Goldilocks of brands, Angel Soft. Available wherever toilet paper is sold. Oh, that's so funny. Was that better, Dave? Had that
Wow. Wow.
I thought that was amazing. The whole Goldilocks with toilet paper. And I thought that was awesome. Oh, that was amazing. All right, guys, welcome back to the HoHO Show. And we're going to be stepping onto our next awesome, amazing topic. We're going to be talking a little bit about Baghdad. You see, I've been hearing people make the comparison and saying that Baghdad is Trump's Benghazi. Yeah. What do you think about that?
It's not even close.
Exactly.
What Trump did was showed how it's supposed to be done.
Exactly. See, what did we have in Benghazi? We had, let's see. Obama was nowhere to be found. He claimed that I was asleep. I was so tired. So tired. He was asleep. 4 died. 13 hours. No support. And let's see here. You had the ambassador getting drugged through the streets, and nobody seemed to have had any problem with this. There wasn't a huge media outcry. There wasn't a huge outcry in the, in the political realm with senators, representatives. There wasn't a huge outcry against this. It was explaining the whole thing. That's what they were trying to do, explain the whole thing, and they were trying to give all of their support to President Obama. That's what you had. Baghdad. Oh, Trump was up. 13 minutes and wheels were off the ground with support heading over there.
Exactly.
No loss of life. No loss of life whatsoever. And the media is doing nothing more than putting Trump down on this. Trump has no media support. Trump has no, support from our representatives, no political support. Just everybody seems to be turning his back on this because he did it exactly right. There were, I've been hearing some interviews, from the people whom were, one of the people that were involved in heading over to the embassy from the annex. They're like, dude, he did it nearly perfect. President Trump did it nearly perfect. That's how it should be handled. That's how it should be done. And this is absolutely infuriating the Democrats because he did it right.
And like I said off air, he not just did it right, he proved that it can be done.
Absolutely.
There's no excuse for Benghazi. None. The way he did this proves that those 4 people should not have died.
Exactly.
That's what he ultimately has proved.
And had these people, and I really should have researched this a little bit better because I forget the people's name, even hearing some of their names today, but I forget the people that were involved who went over there from the annex to rescue as many people as they could. Like 20 people is who they rescued. And had they not broken orders, put their careers on the line, even risked jail time, rank everything else being removed from them. Had they not broken, their command, their orders, there would have been 24 at least that would have been killed in that raid.
Yeah.
Not a doubt in my mind, not a doubt in their mind. They knew it was going to happen. But here we have with Baghdad exactly what should have happened. From there, of course, we have to move on to the news of the week, guys. I mean, this was something that happened the night, like Thursday night going into Friday morning. I am talking about the death of Soleimani.
That guy.
That guy. So, holy crap. Hold on. Soleimani. Yes, Salami. I'm calling him Salami. The heck with it. That's what his name is now. I'm talking about the death of Salami.
General Salami.
General Salami. Now I'm going to, since, he's getting accused of, Baghdad being Trump's Benghazi, let me tell you something, guys. Salami is not Trump's bin Laden. Just so you guys know, not Trump's bin Laden. You see, that debacle all belongs to Clinton, former President Clinton. Let me put you guys in the DeLorean. Let's go to the Wayback Machine. Let's go 88 mile per hour. Let's get that flux capacitor going. Let's get the 1.21 gigawatts worth of electricity. Go back in time to 2 years before the 9/11 strike. Okay. Former President Bill Clinton had actionable intelligence that bin Laden was bad.
Right.
Bin Laden bad, okay? Bin Laden bad, okay? Don't do bin Laden. Bin Laden bad, okay? Don't do that. He had actionable intelligence. This was a man who had a history of killing Americans, all right? They had actionable intelligence that he was about ready to kill many more. He was starting a campaign, starting strategy efforts, starting all kinds of stuff in order to kill. They put in here, he goes, I like hard salami. I like it sliced.
And do you like it
And
burnt?
in a log type roll. Hebrew Nation salami with mustard on toast rye. Yum. That does sound good.
Do you like toasted salami?
I do like to. Dude, I've had fried salami, not toasted salami, but I've had fried salami. Good stuff. Anyway, all right, no more talk about salami. Salami bad, okay? But let's rewind though, because he had actionable intelligence on stuff that was going on, and he had 3 separate occasions where Clinton, with the actionable intelligence that they had, they could have got him, and he chose not to follow through and not to take out bin Laden.
Right.
3 separate instances when he should have, when he could have, and he chose not to. And like a few days before the 9/11 strike, he had an interview where he even said in this media report that, yeah, I had several opportunities and I didn't take it. Maybe I should have. 2020 hindsight, maybe I should have. And what do we have with Salami? We have a man who has killed 600 plus Americans, civilian and service people, who has killed over 1,000 other people, who is planning, and we have actionable intelligence that he was planning a major U.S. strike on Americans. Yeah, he was planning this. We know this. Actionable intelligence, okay?
And he gives, him and his crew also gives intelligence and support to Hezbollah,
yes,
who by themselves are a major terror organization in the world. And how many have those guys killed worldwide?
Exactly. I mean, this isn't a guy who's just new, they don't know anything about him, any of that crap. No. This guy has a history of killing Americans, and actionable intelligence saying that he was going to kill many more. 2020 hindsight, which is very funny because we are in 2020. 2020 hindsight, this is going to be a year of clear vision, people, I'm telling you. We knew from back then, with Clinton, that he should have took out a major terrorist person. We knew this should have happened. 2020 hindsight, should have done it. Now, here we have it. Trump in that very same predicament. What does he do? Strike. Hellfire missile. Only 3 people died. Salami, and his 2 bodyguards. That's it. No other collateral damage. He didn't do it at the airport in Baghdad. He did not do it then. Oh no, when there could have been all kinds of civilian casualties. He does it on a deserted highway when he's in his vehicle, armored vehicle, by the way. Just regular people that aren't looking over their head for the drone coming at him doesn't do that. He was in armored vehicle. They took him out with a couple Hellfire missiles, if I'm not mistaken. Took him out, him and 2 other people, no other collateral damage. That is a surgical strike, if I've ever heard of one.
Yeah.
Surgical strike. And what are they doing? Okay, let's go back to Baghdad a little bit. What did they say about Baghdad? With Benghazi, they were saying, oh, this was just a spontaneous thing. This was over a YouTube video, completely spontaneous. When was the last time you took a rocket launcher to a spontaneous,
Right.
Absolutely. Hold on. I got it. But this is okay. Yeah. Yeah. I love that clip. I played that for Brandon. He was like, what? I'm like, dude, that's funny. Okay, anyway. But you have, and here's the difference. Here's the hypocrisy with the left on everything and what's going on, okay? You have with Benghazi, with Baghdad, with bin Laden, with Soleimani. I'm telling you, that name's sticking in my head. I'm telling you. It's awesome. You have, all kinds of support for President Trump. Or I'm sorry, all kinds of support for President, Clinton, for, former President Obama. All kinds of support for him. No support for Trump. Trump can't do anything right, even though he did everything right. Oh, he can't do anything right. They're claiming that these, people that were, with Baghdad, that they were just mourners. They were upset about Trump pulling out from the Iranian deal. That they were angry and upset about, these added sanctions that were put onto Iran. They were just so upset about this. And so, Baghdad we gotta demonstrate. We gotta do that, even though there was only guys in there, the only fighting aged guys. That was it.
And hundreds more in Iraq praising President Trump for what he did.
Oh, yeah. You won't hear that on mainstream media. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, you will not hear that on mainstream media. This guy was not a beloved member. He, that's, we'll get there. We'll get there because that's, whoo, we got to talk about that. Because, guys, you've got, I'm doing just as bad as
Go for
Brandon
it, dude.
on that one, man. But yeah, you've got, all right, just with Baghdad, with Benghazi, okay, you've got just 2 different things. They were trying to give him the cover that, oh, this wasn't this wasn't that. They were upset over a YouTube video. You got with Baghdad, they were just hurt over this. They were mourning this, and that's all there was to it. So you got 2 different dichotomies in here. And again, president can't do anything wrong. Or I'm sorry, president can't do anything right. Yeah, that's what they're telling you. You got Soleimani and bin Laden. They tried to paint Soleimani, whatever the guy's name is. They tried to paint him as this, this academic, this brilliant man, this philosopher. Okay, they're trying to paint him in that kind of light. They're trying to paint him as this beloved member in Iraqi society. That's what they're trying to paint him as. That's the light they are trying to paint him as. And then what do they say? He shouldn't have done it. I mean, he should have done it, sure, but I mean, come on, guys. We got to think about the backlash on all this. That's what we got to think about. I'm like, yeah, maybe he should have done it. I mean, he did kill some people, but at the same time, we got to think about the backlash, man. We can't just be, just killing people all willy-nilly. They're calling it an assassination and murder. It's like, no, it's not an assassination. This wasn't a political leader. This was a terrorist, the head of a major terrorist organization. This wasn't a political leader in Iraq.
Right.
It's like, come on, dude. It's,
Excuse me.
And you never had that kind of talk whenever it came to Obama killing bin Laden. Did you?
No.
Not at all. You didn't have any of that kind of talk. None of that, we got to think about the retaliation. None of that, he was just an amazing man that just could do no harm. This was, this guy was the next Hoomie-jigger guy, Dave said, what did he just say? Huh?
Hoomie-jigger?
Hoomie-jigger. No, but, that none of that kind of talk whenever they were talking about bin Laden. It was, oh, he did, Obama did an amazing thing. He did the best thing he could have done. None of that, oh, we got to think about what's going on next. Oh, he kind of should have done it, but at the same time, he really shouldn't have done it because, he wasn't thinking about the retaliation. He wasn't thinking about anything like that, but that's all you're hearing with Salami. That's all you're hearing with that is, maybe he should have done it, but he really shouldn't have done it because you got to really be thinking about what happens next.
Right.
You didn't get any of that crap. Just absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Spin it any way they can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got anything else to add on that?
Ask the Israeli people how they feel about it. Our closest ally.
Yeah,
I doubt you're going to find too many Israelis go, oh, he shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm. But back to that point you brought up earlier. What is going on over there in Iraq with his killing? What's the people's response to that?
Yeah, the majority of Iraqis love it.
Yeah, they were ordered by whoever it was, the guys. 3 days of mourning. What's the Iraqi people doing? They threw a party.
Yeah.
That's what these guys are doing. They're partying in the streets. They're thanking President Trump, thanking America, and thanking the soldiers that are over there. They're thanking them. They're not mourning.
Right.
They're thanking him over this. This wasn't some blessed and praised member of, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Dave says, I'm curious, who's next? Is there a top 10? Top 10 of what? What you mean?
Well, I was thinking just the same thing. Who is going to be next?
Right.
And
you got a point.
And to be honest, there should be a next and a next after that.
And that's the thing too. They're calling him a murderer for killing a terrorist. Okay. How much backlash was there over Obama's kill list? How much political backlash was there? How much backlash was there from the media over the kill lists? Over the killing of U.S. citizens whom didn't get, were not treated as innocent until proven guilty. They didn't get a court date. They didn't get due process, didn't get any of that. What was the media's reaction to that?
I don't even think President Bush had that much backlash from the media or anybody when, do you remember the card list, the ace of spades and this and that, when they were searching for Hussein or his nephew or this or that, and they were taking them out one by one? There was not even that much backlash compared to now with Trump.
I don't remember that. But, you have somebody, Obama, who definitely, by killing American citizens without due process with a drone strike, nothing, no backlash. And here they're calling Trump a murderer over Soleimani.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. It just goes to show you how politically motivated even the mainstream media is.
Right.
It definitely goes to show you just how politically motivated this whole thing is. It blows my mind.
Blew Salami's mind too.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to move on to the next topic, but first we're going to take one more break so that this way I can play that amazing commercial for you guys one more time.
Oh boy.
I know. Have you ever sat down on your throne just to find out that you are dangerously low on shift tickets, making it to where you have to make a mad dash to the store just to pick yourself up some? If this has ever happened to you, pick up the #1 most rated toilet paper found in Uranus and use what the professionals use. Angel Soft. See, I'm just not a fan of some toilet paper. Some of them is like putting a pillow between your nice rosy. Others, like John Wayne toilet paper, it's like using sandpaper. But do what the professionals use. Use the type of toilet paper that is the Goldilocks of brands, Angel Soft. Available wherever toilet paper is sold. Dave brought up a good point. Actually, an amazing point. He says, I'm also curious. Are we at the same time attempting an equal and opposite political olive branch approach with Iran? I think you need to have an equal and opposite approach for contrast. Well, Dave put nice commercial. He goes, otherwise we just look like assassins. And you're right. You're absolutely right, though. But you see, that was tried for 8 years under Obama. What did we do? We gave him, 2-3 pallets worth of cash appeasement?
$150 billion.
$150 billion. Did that really help?
With a capital B.
Exactly. Did it help? No.
No.
They didn't stop what they were doing. It empowered them to do more. He got the nice lips of Obama on the pearly red butt of whomever it was that they gave the money to, and it allowed them to do that. Appeasing terrorists never ends up good. Not long term. You know, they may buy some toys, go into their little hole and hide away for a little while, but all they're doing is using their toys in order to send those toys out into the world at a later date. Mm-hmm. That's what Iraq was working on doing. Or I'm sorry, Iran, right. With the Iranian incentive in it.
And that's the same with North Korea. Over those years, they try to appease North Korea, give them this, give them that, let them do this, let them do that. And where's that gotten us? Absolutely nowhere.
So, we have tried that. That's a giveaway, different from peaceful human interactions. Well, you got a point. But, we still have, tried the whole olive branch approach. We've tried to leave them alone and just let them be. But, unfortunately, especially with Kim Jong-un, he just keeps running his mouth. Mm-hmm. running his mouth, doing stuff, doing nuclear tests and everything else. And it's like, Kim Jong-un with the nuclear bomb is kind of like having a bunch of exposed wires and a 2-year-old with a fork.
Right.
You don't know exactly what's going to happen, but you're pretty sure somebody's going to the hospital. It's going to end bad. It's going to end on the news. And that's kind of like what you got, But same type of thing. They've tried the whole peaceful thing. Unfortunately, though, these are terrorists that aren't interested in peace.
No.
They're interested in death to America. They're interested in, death to Israel. That's what they're interested in. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're wanting to go to. They don't need nuclear power plants. They don't have the need, that much power need to even justify doing a nuclear power plant.
Their way of thinking is not our way of thinking.
Unfortunately,
a lot of them, most of them actually, they want a big war chaos to bring their Messiah, their Amon back. They have to have a catastrophe like a world war. They want that. They want a big to-do to bring their Messiah. That's part of their religion. That's part of their culture, and when you deal with people on that level of that way of thinking, you can't think just American. You can't use American. They think differently. They don't reason like we reason. They don't think like we think. They have their own agenda. They have their own, goals, I guess you'd say.
Right. And guys, we've had this, this back and forth with the Middle East since 1979. 79? Mm-hmm. I thought it started before that.
When the takeover of the Iranian embassy was in 1979.
Okay.
You want to be honest? Let's be honest. We've basically been at war with Iran since 1979. If you really want to get to it, proxy wars, through other channels, whatever. We've technically been at war with Iran since 1979.
Yeah. And the problems of what's been going on in Iraq is directly correlated to what's been going on in Iran, because you have two different factions over there. You got two different types of government over in Iran. One held by one group of people, the other held by the other group of people, and the other group of people that is held by are people from basically Iran.
Right. Excuse you.
Really? You're going to do that to me now? Really? You're still... Let me mute that, because apparently I didn't do that. I know. Yeah. But yeah, that's just what it amounts to. So we are going to move on, and we are going to discuss what's going on with Google. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this or not, but Google, I think, has had a couple lawsuits put at them. And right now you've got the government doing talks on breaking apart the behemoth that is Google. That's what they're talking about doing. Forcing the breaking up of Google. That's what they're talking about, And we talked about this a little before, before air earlier. And I got to be honest with this, because I disagree. How do you feel about it?
Well, after talking what we were talking about, we need to promote not taking down a behemoth, but helping other companies have the same equal opportunity to become better, to become bigger, to become what they want to be, which we talked about government regulations and some of the roadblocks that are in the way for that to happen.
Because right now, you think about it. What do we have? With Windows. Okay, well, let's put the names out there. Steve Jobs. With Bill Gates. With Facebook and different companies like Raise your co-host volume hard. Get the mic closer to your.
How's that?
Well, you can't whisper whenever you're talking.
I'm not whispering.
Okay, there you go. You raised that up a little bit. How does it sound any better, Dave? Or let me know.
I might not look better, but how's it sound?
Well, we're not talking about looks. We're talking about hearing you, being able to hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we're looking at. But with how these people, okay, with all these different companies back then, with Steve Jobs, with Bill Gates, with Napster, with Facebook, with MySpace, all these other different companies. How did these guys get their start? From the basements, from the garages. They started little, they sold a dream, and then once they got their dream going, they sold the results to different companies. And they raised it out of the basements, out of the garages, and they made them into, huge companies. That's what happened. Okay. In today's day and age, somebody like Bill Gates, somebody like Steve Jobs would never be able to do what they did then. Why? Because of government interference, because of red tape, because of the gatekeepers that they are now, knew them would never be able to happen. That's the reality behind this whole thing. A little, he's pretty mellow, low-key. Yeah, he doesn't talk real loud into the microphone.
No, I'm sorry.
So my question that I pose to people isn't whether or not Google should be broken up because they're a huge behemoth. No. Why don't we get rid of the gatekeepers that the government has become and allow the next best thing to have the capitalistic approach, free market capitalist approach, in order to be a competitor to them? Isn't that what we need more than government intervention? Don't we need less government restriction?
Right.
I mean, a lot of people right now have a hard time with what Facebook's been doing with their, with squashing free speech, with all that crap, with what YouTube's been doing. A lot of people, especially on the right, seem to have a problem with this. Behemoths. Why don't we just get rid of the regulations that are stifling competition from rising up from the ashes and actually being a competitor to these different companies? That's what we need. Less restrictions will allow for more innovation, and then the next best thing could happen. That to me seems like a much better way to go about it. Less government intervention, less government having their fingers in places where it shouldn't be, because, here's the thing. They're basically claiming that Google is a monopoly. It's not a monopoly. Would you consider it a monopoly?
Dry cough.
Would you consider it a monopoly?
Not really a monopoly, but I go with what you said about the regulations. You get rid of the regulations. You promote other smaller people, help them get bigger. Competition always produces growth. Competition always benefits the consumer at the end of it all.
Absolutely.
That's what we need.
Absolutely. But that's just, with me, it's just an aspect of, the government has a tendency to pick the winners and the losers, and then they get upset whenever the winners become too powerful. That's what we've had in the oil industry. That's what we've had with, Google, with Facebook, the government going in there, doing these regulations things, picking the winners and the losers. And then they complain whenever somebody gets monopoly status, even though it's not a true monopoly, because, like in the realm of, web browsers, this thing right there, there's others out there. There's Internet Explorer, there's Safari, there's Mozilla Firefox, there's, and What else is there? I have no idea. But there's
Yahoo.
Yahoo, yeah. They have a web browser?
Yes.
Awesome. So there's not a monopoly. There are options if you don't want to use Google. You know, if you don't want to use Facebook, there's options. You know, there's Instagram. I think might actually be owned by Google. All right, scratch that. But I mean, you got Facebook. I mean, there's been the other things. You know, MySpace, Bing. Okay, yeah, Bing as a search engine. I forgot about that one. And you know, but you've got others. You know, with YouTube, there's video, and then some. There's Twitch. You know, there's Mixer. There's all kinds of. You know, there is competition. Granted, Google's a behemoth. They got their fingers in a lot of pies.
Right.
I like pies, though.
You like your pies.
I like pies. Boston cream pie, chocolate cream pie, banana cream pie. I'm hungry for pie now.
And salami.
I'm not hungry for salami. I'm hungry for pie. I want some pie. But yeah, you know, that's what you got, though. Moving on. You got anything else to add on that?
Not really.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guys, now we're sliding into the topic. You guys know how I feel about the Second Amendment. You guys know how I feel about guns. You guys know how I feel about this type of stuff. And what's been going on in Virginia, I really hope you guys are paying attention. Those that are concerned with freedom in this country, those that are concerned about government overreach, those who are concerned about what different people has done once they have removed guns from their society. You know, people like Mao in China, people like Stalin, people like Hitler, what they have done once they removed the guns from the citizenry, from the people. That's a much better word. You know, what has happened after that, we need to open our eyes, see what's going on. You know, I've been told this could be a test run kind of thing, you know, whatever. But we need to be concerned about what's going on over there. What is going on, you may ask? I'm glad that you asked. Ask me.
What's going on, HoHo?
I'm glad you asked. We're so ridiculous sometimes.
Sometimes?
All the time.
Yeah.
We have Governor, what's his name? Bill?
Palpatine?
Gothenburg. What is that guy's name? I got it in an article up here. I'll search it. I'll find it. I'll get it. Nope, that's Bloomberg. What's the guy's name? Ralph Northam. That's it, right?
Think
Northam.
so.
I'm going with Northam. Okay, so this guy, all right, he's talking about doing this whole gun confiscation thing. Okay, gun confiscation. Now, there are 90 plus counties and, you know, cities and whatnot that have taken on Second Amendment sanctuary status. Okay. Other people that have said that we will not carry out these illegal, because that's what they are, or I'm sorry, they might be legal actions, but they are definitely unconstitutional and therefore unlawful actions of gun confiscations. Okay. But that's what he's talking about doing, is taking away the guns of the citizenry that live in Virginia. There's been a lot of pushback. About it. You know, 90 plus counties and municipalities that have claimed Second Amendment sanctuary status. That's huge.
Right.
You know, that's a lot. You know, I looked at the map on that, on what they look like, and you know, they are very red over there. Very red. He's even talking about getting the National Guard involved in this and taking away people's guns. There's been a lot of people in the National Guard that are like, we're not going to do this. We are not going to uphold that order. That's unconstitutional. It's immoral. It's not right. We ain't going to do it. when you're having trouble with a word, just use a different word. It's all right.
Or make one up.
Yeah, make one. I do that too.
Yes.
Dude, I got in trouble the other day.
Imagine that.
One of the listeners, Mr. Howard, who was usually over there in Facebook land, he was like, dude, I listened to your show and you pronounced a word right. I don't know what it was. I got words in my dictionary that I just have my own pronunciation for. Okay. Issues, edumacate, and all its, subsidiaries, see what's another one. Edumacate, edumacated. Well, that's just one of my made up words. Well, not really made up word. Whatchamajigger, but there's edumacate, edumacated, issues. There's a few other ones, but one of my I never pronounce it right words in my last show came out of my mouth right. He was like, "What's up?" What is going on here? And I actually did it in conversation with him too. And I'm like, holy cow, dude, it's like new year, new me. I'm like, no, this cannot happen. This is wrong. I'm not going to stand for this. No. It was very bad. I was like, dude, I am so sorry that I correctly pronunciated a particular word. I don't remember what the word was, but it was like, I correctly. It's bad. You know me.
Yes, I do.
You hear my speeches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whew. Anyway. So we got these National Guard people that are like, no, we're not going to follow through with these orders. They are unconstitutional. They are unlawful. We are not going to do it. We are not going to stand for that. It is not going to happen. We're not going to have any part of this. Okay. And this guy, Ralph Northam, is sounding like the Russian, Dolph Lundgren's character, the Russian in Rocky IV. Because he's saying that, we're going to send people door to door, armed people to get your guns. And if people die, then they die. That's what he said. If people die, they die.
Crazy.
You sent me an article not that long ago. What was it what was
I'd have to reread the article, but the gist of it was, what was it? It was about the
UN people were hiring English-speaking soldiers,
right,
and training them in what?
Confiscation,
gun confiscation. In New York. That's where they're doing this at in New York.
Right.
Now, I don't know what this means, but guys, we need to be on alert. Need to be on alert. What hill are you willing to die on? You need to be on alert. There was a lot of people that were behind Clive V. Bundy, with all that fiasco that happened, and people came to his side in support of what he was doing. And because of armed citizens, they held the federal government at bay, and there was a peaceful resolution to that incident. Okay? Peaceful resolution. That's what we're asking for. That's what we're wanting. Peaceful resolution. Okay? This is not a country that is run by the 51%. I have the freedom of speech. I don't care what you think about it. Doesn't matter what you think about it. I have the right to keep and bear arms. That means going out of my house, going into public with my gun on my side. That's what my right is. Not my government-given right. This is my God-given right. This is my constitutionally protected right, but it doesn't give me the right. The Second Amendment doesn't give me the right to keep and bear arms. It keeps the government from infringing upon that right. Am I right?
You're right. Did you, you might have mentioned this or somebody did. Was there a sheriff in Virginia that was threatening to deputize the whole entire county?
Yes.
Or something along that lines.
Yes, I heard that too. I don't remember what county and where, but yeah, there was, he was talking about deputizing every single person in that county so that this way they can all legally have guns. That's why he was talking about doing that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not the right way to do it. I'm just telling you guys, that's not the right way to do it, because then it's like, if everybody's a cop, then nobody's a cop type of a thing. You know, I understand why he would do something like that, why he would threaten something like that. But I mean, even still, it's like, you know, Samantha goes, good show, lost internet service. I hate it whenever that happens. Internet just shuts down on you for no apparent reason. Speaking of which, Sam, I'm actually very good you brought that up, okay? Because this is one of them things that, Ralphie is talking about with this whole gun confiscation, okay? He is talking about shutting down phone service, shutting down internet, shutting down power in Virginia during this whole gun grab.
Wow.
Did you hear about that?
I haven't heard about that one.
Yes. Now, guys, before you think something like this isn't even possible, I want you guys to think back on during Hurricane Katrina. What happened? You know, they were rounding people up. They were putting them in the stadium. There was no internet. There was no phone service, no nothing. People couldn't communicate with the outside world. They couldn't call for help to get support.
And I heard there's some gun confiscation going on down there during that time too.
Yes, there was gun confiscation. I remember that there was pictures that the National Guard did. You know, they took a picture outside this guy's house. On this, in front of this guy's house was a sign. On that sign were words, and those words said, you know, I have a gun, I got a dog, and I got food. These National Guardsmen took a picture on that sign. They were like, this sign's awesome. And then what did they do? They went inside. They let him keep his dog. Let him keep his food. Took away his gun. Took away his right to defend himself because he's not a big boy enough. Are you kidding me?
Right. Don't say it can't happen.
Exactly. It's already happened. That's why I got to be honest, because I don't have a whole heck of a lot of faith in the National Guards, you know, not going through with these orders to disarm, because it's already happened in our country, in my lifetime. It's already happened. Those orders had been given. Those orders had been followed through. National Guard disarmed American citizens during a time of need. In a crisis, they did it. They took away internet. They took away phones. They did this already as a test run. What happened? I don't remember who was president at the time. I really have no clue. It's been too long ago. I've slept too much since then. I don't remember.
But I think Bush was president during Katrina.
Okay. But it's happened. It's been done. So to think that this can't happen, you're sadly mistaken.
And you brought up a point to me too, is I think it was in Maryland. They did the red flag law and killed the guy. Guy's dead.
I heard that too. Yep, I heard that too. In Maryland. And you know what? I heard this dramatized story. Okay, it might have been a read me type of a thing. You know, something that I seen as a whatchamajigger, whatever, on something I was, you know, a thing on Facebook, you know, whatever. This whole scenario that they played out in a dramatized fashion. Guys came in to enforce a red flag law, killed the parents, killed the mom and dad, left the kids. No due process, no warrant, suspicion. See, here's the thing to note about these red flag laws. They don't mean jack. Your neighbor can just be like, I don't like you. Make up this story about you. Next thing you know, loud knocks, if you're lucky, busting down your door, taking you from your bed. If people die, they die. Nobody knows the truth because the media is going to spin this as you're an evil SOB.
Right. And you're probably dead, so how are you going to defend yourself?
Exactly. I mean, what happens, whenever you're an individual person with a gun in the middle of the night trying to defend you and yours? What's going to happen? Whenever you got 20 SWAT breaking down your door, you're dead. No warrant necessary, no due process, no nothing. Suspicion. You're lucky to get surveillance put on you. You'd hope for surveillance at that point, but no, nothing. That's what these red flag laws. Yeah, I hate these red flag laws. And yeah, somebody in Maryland has died, and there's been reports out, and I've got these on my website. Colorado, first red flag law invoked, likely for the first time in a Denver case. I think in the one in Texas as well, if I'm not mistaken. Could be. I'm kind of searching for another one because I know that there was another area in here. I know Denver, Colorado wasn't the only one I had in here.
And those are just the ones that are being reported.
But maybe that was the only one in there. Yeah. Yeah, so you got Denver, Colorado in the news article here, and I did hear about that Maryland one. And you know what? I hope that story's false. I mean, I really do. I hope that didn't happen. I got to be honest. I hope it didn't happen.
Right.
Because nobody should die. Nobody should be killed for exercising their Second Amendment right whenever all you have to do is just point a finger and go, orange man bad. And the next thing you know, you got 20 SWAT showing up at your door to kill you.
Right.
Because that's what it amounts to. They're showing up at your door without due process, without a warrant, without anything, because somebody said orange man bad, and they're coming in there to disarm you. If you resist, you're dead. Period. That's a scary thing. I thought we lived in a free society. I thought we did.
Getting worse every day.
Mm-hmm. And of course, they would like to say,
"How dare you?"
Yeah.
Playing with your buttons.
I am. If they plan on coming over here,
choose your destiny.
I got to do that louder.
Fight.
Oops.
Choose your destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Flawless victory.
Those are kind of low. That's
Yeah.
very sad. That's very sad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a while since I played with some of those buttons in there. I forgot about that one.
At least you didn't push the one that I don't like.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
That one? Yep. I think that's the one he was talking about, guys.
Sorry about that. It just kind of threw up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm done playing with my buttons.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm done playing with my buttons. I ain't going to play with my buttons no more.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure I got more. All right. Anyway, now I'm done playing with my buttons. So yeah, I mean, this whole thing. I mean, honestly, guys, I hope that this story about the guy dying in Maryland. I really hope that that's just a false story. I mean, how many times has Morgan Freeman died on Facebook? A lot. I didn't actually really get into the article. I just remember seeing it, and then it was like squirrel, and my mind went elsewhere, and I never did make it back to it. I mean, it's horrible. You guys know how my brain works out there.
Yes, we do.
Sometimes, those type of things happen. My brain does that all the time. It's amazing. Not really. So, that's really all I got for the show. That's it. Hour and a half. Awesome. Yes. You got anything else to add? Any concerns? Any?
What?
Dude,
Where did you just go?
I could have swore I seen something fly like that way.
Guess I shouldn't spiked your Mountain Dew, man. Wow.
Dude, I've had a bat in this house before. I mean, I really have. And that's basically what the bat did. Like he just like I was in here sitting down chilling, and then just I'm like, what the? So I followed it, and he's like flying around the living room, flying around, the dining room, and I'm just like, that's, I have a bat in my belfry. I'm like, what's going on? Is he going to turn into Batman? Where's the Joker at? What the heck? What's going on here? I had no clue, and I was just like, all right, and I was like walking, through the living room, and that happened, and it was just that was a lot louder than what I thought that was going to be.
Yep.
How
Wow.
dare you?
I know, it was horrible. So yeah, I mean, I went walking and like I turned on the lights, and then I'm walking back to the front door because I'm like I was like, I want to open the door this way he can just fly right on outside, and they say that bats do this whole sonic thing where they can, just the airwaves and the vibrations, because they're like, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, they're picking up good vibrations, and, they won't hit you, but he got like flying like right at me, and I'm like, I did this type of number, and just so you guys, for those of you that are just listening, just had to like dodge just a little bit, just like my head was here, it was like right there. That's what I had to do a couple times. But he like, flying right at me, it's like, phew, and he was like right there, like his wingages was like, phew, felt it, like right next to my ear ball. It was like right in there, and I was like, oh, okay, he almost hit me. That was cool. That was awesome. That might have hurt. So I went to the door, just opened up the door, then opened up the other door, and then just kind of stood in the middle of the room. I'm like, you'll fly out when you're ready, whatever. Otherwise, just chill here. So. That's what happened. So, I mean, I have had a bat in here. So, I mean, I wouldn't. Maybe it was a bat.
Sure. Well, that's what we'll call it.
I'm not crazy. Wait. Well, crap.
You haven't been tested. Or have you?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that. I mean, they were like, you're not a danger to yourself or any other, but there's something wrong with you. It was like, we know this. I've been told by people, like, dude, there's something wrong with you. It's like, uh-huh. It's like, you're not quite right. I know. I'm not certified, but they're like, there's something not quite right with you. That's all I got.
Wow.
You got anything to add?
Well, he's talking about firearms and stuff, and
Yeah, huh?
you might have heard the story. It's been a little while about the guy at the gas station.
Oh my God!
I don't know if he was smoking on his cell phone or whatever, and I think it was
he was smoking.
His right arm just caught fire, and the cop drove by.
Oh no, they were at the gas station.
They were at the gas station.
Yeah, I showed up that day. I was there.
And the cops just like tackled him and arrested him.
Yeah.
And you heard what the charge was, right?
Yeah, waving a firearm in public.
Yeah.
It's.
You want to push a button?
I'm getting there. That was a good one. I like that joke.
Yeah. Yeah, and the only other thing I would add before you close is what Barbara Walters would say. This is 2020.
I am Barbara Walters, and this is 2020. I can't do a mimic of her, whatever.
Ready for that pie now?
Oh, I'm so ready for my pie.
Choose your destiny.
And it will be a good pie.
Fight.
Absolutely. And then once I'm about done, it's going to be...
Finish her.
Absolutely. And then once I take that last bite...
Flawless victory.
Absolutely. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, you ought to close with your commercial. I think.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
You think I should close with my commercial?
Close with your commercial.
All right, let's close with the commercial.
Do it for Dave.
Do it for Dave. All right, guys, here you go. One last time for today's show. I'm going to keep this commercial. I'm actually going to be doing more of these. I think I'm just going to do more. So if you guys have I don't care. This is funny. This is satire, the Angel Soft definitely is. There ain't no way that they would, be a sponsor of but it's funny. Satire. So if there's a commercial.
What about monkey butt powder?
Oh my God, I have anti-monkey butt powder.
Yes.
All right, guys. Next commercial for next week's show is going to be a commercial on anti-monkey butt powder. I had some of that in here. Where did it go? I have it. Next week's show, you guys will see my bottle of anti-monkey butt powder, and there will be a commercial. You know, because anti-monkey butt powder is the best way to combat against swamp ass. I'm telling you. Dude, you laugh. It's a thing, man. It's a thing. Experienced by truck drivers everywhere. It's sold in truck. Dude, I this one year I almost bought a whole case of anti-monkey butt powder because I was going to give it to like everybody. You know, that was going to be my Christmas gift that year to everybody was anti-monkey butt powder. You know, I did coal one year. You know, because my ex-father-in-law, he was a coal miner. And I'm like, dude, I want coal. Like actual out of the ground black coal. That's what I got. And that was my Christmas gift for everyone. My dad loved it. He's like, dude, that is neat. It's like, that's fresh out of the ground, ain't it? And I'm like, yes, it is. He's like, that is cool. I'm like, I thought you'd like that. Matt put it in here. He goes, I have a Barbara Walters 2020 soundbite. Yes.
Nice.
That is awesome.
You can also do Preparation H 1 week,
How
too.
dare you?
Oh, that'd be a good one. Preparation Age 2. Where's my...
Notepad.
I need to write this down. All right, so commercial.
Butt powder.
No, yeah, you're right. Just put butt powder. Butt powder. And then...
Preparation H.
Prep H. When you just got a Botox injection into your face and you can no longer drink out of that straw, Preparation H.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to hell. So if you guys got any other products you'd like to see just satire commercials for, hit me up. Let me know. It's going to be amazing. All right, guys. Good night, sleep tight, and if them bed bugs bite, well then by golly, bite them back. Here you go, one more time for your audio pleasure. Have you ever sat down on your throne just to find out that you are dangerously low on shift tickets, making it to where you have to make a mad dash to the store? And yes, I just said shift tickets in there. Okay. Have you ever sat down on your throne just to find out that you are dangerously low on shift tickets, making it to where you have to make a mad dash to the store just to pick yourself up some? If this has ever happened to you, pick up the #1 most rated toilet paper found in Uranus and use what the professionals use. Angel Soft. See, I'm just not a fan of some toilet paper. Some of them is like putting a pillow between your nice rosy. Others, like John Wayne toilet paper, it's like using sandpaper. But do what the professionals use. Use the type of toilet paper that is the Goldilocks of brands, Angel Soft. Available wherever toilet paper is sold. All right, guys. Y'all have a great one. Good night.
Peace.
Where's my outro? There it is. This has been The HoHo Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpickle.com. Until next time.